So what's your goal with the video stuff?
Video, I just want to do more of it because I don't really have like video on my catalog, and then people will be like, "Bro, I didn't know you do video, bro. I just paid some other $500 in the video shit." And it's like, well, you didn't ask.
Yeah.
But then also I don't really have a portfolio of it. So, but also like I really like talking about music. Like the day we were talking about like the scene and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got like a few questions. Yeah, so we shot like some single cover, like the photo that you picked. Like we did all the posing.
That was a good one.
And the photo you picked was just
complete
like
accident.
One. Yeah, it's just an accident.
Through that record.
When's it dropping?
That one comes out January 14th, so not next week, but the week after that. It comes out on a Tuesday because normally music is dropping on Fridays, but Tyler, the creator, was like, we got to start dropping music on Tuesdays again. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Just to see what happens. Because we have a show that Friday. We play Soma, and it's like we might as well have some lead up. People can listen to it, get their ears around it, and then come to the show.
Dude, when Tyler dropped that, it was the night I came back from my first big tour, the New Aesthetic, and I remember we got back to San Diego maybe like at 2-3 a.m. and then the dude put on some Tyler and I never heard it. I was like, what is this? You got some unreleased? He was like, no, it just dropped. And I forgot about it. I'm like, oh yeah. And like the first half I wasn't really the big fan, so I kind of just fell asleep. And then like I listened to it in the morning and it was fire. Yeah.
It makes sense though. It's like you have like during the weekdays, I feel like you're more locked into like consume music, and like, not that people would be doing this with our music, but at least for Tyler's music, it's like on the weekends they're only going to play it at parties and you're not really like taking it in, you know? Nobody's listening to Joy Walk at parties. I feel like it kills the vibe.
Maybe at shows.
Hey, maybe, yeah, it shows. They'll pull up and they'll listen.
Yeah, I know some people that have some pretty good like San Diego playlists. Yeah. Like some 12 Gauge fans made a playlist with like some of their songs and like the Vito songs. And
Jacob has a good one. Jacob Mackin.
Pretty good. Oh, the photographer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty tapped in. I feel like when you work like around all the bands, like you get like, I probably would have never heard Wax Bums if I didn't go there to take photos of some other band that I don't even remember anymore.
What a trip.
Yeah, I just remember Wax Bums now. Yeah. But speaking of Wax Bums, your first band, you guys all went to Rancho
Bernardo, yeah.
Right? Sports.
We met through pole vaulting. That was it originally was a 3-piece band for our first ever show. It was me on the drums, Josh on the bass, and then Jaren on the guitar. And it was like very Beach Goon. You know Beach Goons? Very Beach Goons style, like just silly surf punk music. And then we added Alex into the band, and now our lineup is pretty much relatively the same thing, except a different drummer, and then Jaren doesn't play with us anymore. But
what about that? Just like college moved away?
Yeah, it's just, you know, he was just getting to the point where he's like, I gotta focus on school, I gotta focus on graduating, and it's like, it happens to everybody, you know. It does. Focus on getting into real life, so.
Yeah, dude, I was like, it hit me the other day, like, getting older and shit, because, like, I've been, like, taking photos in this scene since, like, 2021, and there was this girl I used to date at State, and she just graduated. I met her when she was, like, a sophomore. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting older, bro.
We are.
And so you gotta make, like, the decision, like, all right, we're gonna keep doing this or we're not.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was like, all right, well, like, I'm not gonna be at San Diego State taking photos forever. Like, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I gotta do something different.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to, like, take the passion to the next level without it. Like, we can't play shows at SDSU forever, you know, the same way that you can't shoot there forever.
Yeah.
It's like...
Like, I feel like for bands in San Diego, like, the only next step is like performing at Soma.
Yeah.
Or like what Sunshine's doing, like going to like Isla Vista, Santa Cruz, like up the coast. But then it's like, and then everybody's just kind of like waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like a recording contract or like, I don't know, what's like the, like I know you said like you're scared of like the future and like you don't want to think too far ahead, but like, okay, you perform here in San Diego, get a couple shows at Soma. Yeah. It's like, what's after that?
I think the goal, that we set for ourselves, and that at least me and Alex, because this project, like the Joy Walk thing, started as like a passion project for like Alex and I, and it was the goal was that we record an album, like a full length, like 10 or 12 songs. And it's like cohesive, like all the songs move into one another. And then the next goal is like going on tour, I feel like. A lot of it is luck and like who you know, but a lot of it is just like drive and like being motivated to stay in touch with the scene too. I think hitting and finding a really cool band that's like bigger than you, that is willing to take those steps to like take you out. You have like New Aesthetic, and they're really tapped in with Hawthorne Heights. Being able to like have somebody to like mentor you and guide you through that process is like, I think, your key to like making it out. And then you can also just hit like a crazy viral TikTok and, you know, all of a sudden you have millions of streams. So it's like, it works both ways, I guess. There's a lot of ways to blow up.
The TikTok thing is like kind of interesting because like I do the social media for 12 Gauge, and Art, the guitar player, was telling me, he showed me like his TikTok, like some dude just made like a slideshow, 2 photos. It was like a picture of him as a kid and then a picture of him now like on stage, and it was like using their song, but then the song, one of the lyrics had something about like growing up, and then they got like a $1 million TikTok recording deal like from TikTok, which is kind of weird, but it's like, dude, we need that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like, so I feel like just so random, lucky,
Yeah,
dependent on the algorithm, like. But then you see all these like corny band TikToks.
yeah,
Like people fucking around like in their garage, and then it's like these little skits that maybe get like 20 views, and then like I've talked to some bands and they're just like, bro, I don't even want to try, bro.
those guys are like the even like the corny ones too. I feel like that comes from a place of like motivation. Like it is probably like a difficult watch, but like some of those like blow up and then they get like millions of streams, and I think that's dope. I think it's only corny when they keep doing it and they don't hit, but when they do hit, it's like all that work paid off, you know, and it like meant something. I think that's pretty cool too. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them hit. Some of them hit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember, like, you know, Raue, R-A-U-E.
Yes, they have. Yeah, I watched them play one time.
They had like one that like I saw that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, where are they from? I'm like, well, no shit, they're from San Diego. So I didn't even.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens. Speaking of the music scene, when I started in 2021, it was way different. Like, obviously you were in a different band, Wax Bums. I don't know if you guys had started yet, but now it's like way different. But I think in a good way. Like, I think, like when I look at all the bands right now, like Misfire, 12 Gauge, like what Vito has become, you guys, Sunshower, like bands that are like taking their recording seriously, and their shows, they're not just like, to me at least anymore, they're not just, oh, like we're bored on a Friday, like let's go to this show. You know, like a lot of times now I feel like people are going to see the bands, and bands have like actual fans. So what's your thoughts on like, from when you started performing shows and like now?
Yeah, I think when we first started, it was really weird. We as Wax Bums, and obviously now, I think now that our band is like 3/4 of the original members of Wax Bums, it is kind of like easy to compare because we talk about it all the time. When we used to throw shows, I started playing my senior year of high school, and we started doing shows my senior year of high school. We threw shows in our backyard with 1 PA and like 2 mics, and all of our stuff was live. We didn't mic the kit, we didn't mic the guitar, we didn't mic anything. But like that's what the kids wanted. Like all these kids were just happy to be in like a party, like social scene. Like, oh, there's music, this is awesome. And then I think a month or 2 in, we played Soma for the first time. We were like, shit, like this is nothing like what it was. They're like telling us like, oh, you got to make sure this stuff is like stage left. You got to make sure you're plugged into this. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Stage left?
Yeah, yeah, literally. And it's backwards. Oh, I got really confused about that. But the people at Soma are really nice too, especially the people that work the side stage, because their job is to transition these bands from like, you go in your backyard and you play that whatever show, and it's like shitty setup, DIY setup, and then that side stage show will transition you into playing some real shit where you need to know what you're doing. And I think, at least through my eyes and through the lens of seeing how other people operate, like there's been a really big boom in these collectives, like these music collectives. You have SDS, you have Front Seat, you have like Free the Youth, like all these people that are getting together and trying to cultivate like this big scene. I think that obviously bands are gonna blow up and they're gonna fall off and they're gonna stop making music, or somebody needs to go to college or gets deployed to the military, whatever. But I think the biggest thing that's been happening in San Diego that I've seen the transition be is like these collectives that are trying to push for these artists to make it out. Like we work a lot with SDS, and Josh has been really supportive through our journey and like making music. And then all the producers that are attached to these collectives are all working really hard to make sure that the scene is like popping off. It does suck to see like the bands that we started out playing with like end up not making music anymore, or like whatever, but it's also cool. I don't know, there's been a bunch. When we first started out, Vito was there since day one. Like we played our album release show for Wax Bums with Vito, and that was really cool. But like, for example, we played our first ever Soma show, and it was kind of like, it was a weird lineup for sure. Like we didn't really know our sound yet, but the headlining band was this ska punk band from I think OB or something like that, and they were called Running and Screaming. And I remember we got on that bill and we were like, oh, these guys are awesome, like they're headlining, whatever. And then I saw a post probably last year where they were like, oh, we're not making music anymore, like we have to continue with life. This band Oatmeal that we played with, I can't remember if they are still making music anymore, but like there's been a few bands that we play with at Soma that just kind of like fall off the face of the earth. And it's like, damn.
Yeah, there's like some bands that I'll go through my old photos and I'll be like, what the fuck happened to them? Like they despawned.
Yeah. And a lot of them too are like their members, you'll see that their members are like interchanging between bands. That's the one thing about San Diego too, is that like there's only so many people that play music down here that like a lot of the bands will have interchangeable drummers and bassists and guitarists or whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's almost like relationships.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to bring up like the wrong ex.
Right.
Were you in that one?
Yeah.
And I'll wait for like them to finish the sentence. Like the guy, like I don't know everybody's names, but like the most recent member of Vito, who's also in Boy Idealist, or kind of.
Oh, Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan, the guitarist.
A lot of people like move around. I don't know. I always thought that was weird when people just did it in general. Like I don't like trying to give the same energy to two bands.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people do it. So we were in 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's like baffling. A lot of it happens with the drummers. There's only so many good drummers in San Diego that you can choose from. When we first started playing, Vito's drummer was Walker, and now Walker plays for Dadlore, and he also plays for Elliot too when like Elliot plays shows.
Yeah.
But like I think it's just based on who you know and what people need. Because our thing was, for Wax Bums, I played the drums, and I was like, I want to sing, I want to play the guitar, like I feel trapped in this little box. And it was a battle trying to figure out like who our next drummer was going to be. And Armando's cool, so I'm glad we got him.
Drums one of those things where like obviously drums is one of like I think the most important parts of like a song, but like live, are people really listening to like a drum solo, or is it kind of like bass, you think, where just like you need it in the background but like not everybody's listening to it all the way? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that way it can be anybody, like Walker could be in like hella bands or whatever.
Yeah, drums, I feel like I don't hear many drum solos when we play live or whatever. I think people less listen for the drums and more feel the drums. Like if you're playing at like a venue, they'll mic the kick and the snare, and that'll be like, sometimes they'll do overheads, but more often than not they won't. Like at Soma, you can kind of feel the kick drum, like you can kind of feel it, and then the snare you can hear too. And those are like the two main, those kind of decide the tempo for the song. And so I feel like that's something that people don't necessarily notice is happening, but it's like a subconscious thing. Like it kind of controls the pace of shows and songs and whatnot. So
yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like if there was any instrument I could play, like it would either be drums or bass. Because I think it'd be funny. Like I've seen like some people when they play bass to make up for like the lack of like the pop in like the song, because you know it's like a lower frequency or whatever. Like Like the dude from Silver Bullet who's not in there anymore. He would just like fuck the bass. He like.
Yeah. He's
like,
humping it.
Move it, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like that'd be kind of cool. You could just like play. I don't want to say like whatever, you know, but like you could kind of just go under the radar a little bit and then kind of just like do your own thing. Fuck off on the side.
Dude, talented bassists are like the backbone of like a good band. Like the rhythm section of your band is like crucial in being what your sound is. I feel like.
Who do you think is like one of the best bass players in San Diego? Like of all the bands like in the scene.
I know this is just from personal like what I know. I don't know like everybody in the scene. I know though that Vito's bassist Luke is trained like classic bass trained.
Do the glasses?
Yeah, and he's really really talented. If you listen to his stuff, like live especially, it sounds really cool. And then our old bassist Andrew, I don't know if you ever met him. He played,
like a beanie sometimes.
He
like kind of darker.
He was like tall. He had like a. I don't really know how to describe him. He played with us for when Josh left to go study abroad in Spain up until like a month or two ago, and he's probably one of the most talented bassists I've ever played with, or most talented musicians I've ever played with in my life, but. Those are the two that come to mind.
What is talent? Just like the sound of the chords, or like how fast
he's
fingers?
He's just really talented. Like overall, he plays a lot of instruments, and then his bass lines are just really creative. Our song "Everything" that's coming out next week or in like a week and a half is my personal favorite song that we've ever written, and the bass line on that is just like, how the fuck did he come up with that? And like, how is he playing that? And he doesn't play with a pick. He plays with his fingers, and they're going all in crazy directions. Like that dude's crazy. He's got to be like top 3 most talented musicians that I know for sure.
He's definitely one of the musicians of all time.
He's one of them.
He's
at least one of them.
Yeah, he's one of them. Let's see. So like the recording and writing process, like not too many bands here in San Diego have like EPs, like 2 or 3. It might just be like a single or 2. Like I know Misfire just dropped a single, it's pretty good. What is like the process like for people who just like go to the shows and like listen to, you know, the song, it's fun in the moment. Like I'm sure you guys have a plethora of like songs that just are not recorded yet. What is like the process of, for example, I don't know, like going to the studio, because I don't really know like what goes into it.
Yeah, our process varies from time to time. I know all the bands' process is completely different, so like ours is our own, but more often than not, we like to just like find, it normally starts with a cool chord progression that like one of us writes on the guitar or a catchy riff, and then we'll try and take it into our practice space and just write an instrumental around it, and then a melody just comes with like humming what you think would sound cool. The lyrics, I think, take the longest because it's either me, Josh, or Alex writing lyrics or trying to come up with lyrics or a cool melody. Alex has been good about like helping out, and he's our lead guitarist.
He's the one who was the singer of Waxbones?
No, that's Josh, our bassist right now.
Oh, Alex is the one that...
Alex is the blonde one, tall. Yeah. He was in the photo shoot, yeah. He's been really good about like helping out with melody stuff. I want to get him singing too a lot more because
like background vocals or like
I want him
harmony?
to sing like a song or 2 or like sing sections of songs. Josh is doing like background vocals right now and stuff like that because he's singing in Wax Bums. I'd love for all of us to sing. I think that would add like a fun dynamic to the band. Obviously I've been doing a majority of the songs, but having them help me with lyrics has been really helpful because that's the hardest part in my opinion, because that's what people are listening to more often than not. But once we get like a good instrumental down, we try and get the lyrics down, and at least for us, we record next week. We have a recording a 4-song EP next. We start on Friday and we go till Sunday. So we're gonna be like secluded for a few days recording. I still don't have lyrics for one of the songs, so it's like it's really whatever feels right. Sometimes in the studio we'll completely strip a song of what it was and then turn it into something completely new. Our very first song, Weather Song, our producer Richard, shouts out, he's a good dude. He helped us completely strip that song from nothing and then turn it into something like completely different. But I love it, you know? So it really depends on what the mood is and what you feel is right. And a lot of it will happen in the studio, or it will happen after you listen to a song a million times. You're like, I actually hate that part, but I didn't have the balls to say it last week because I worked so hard on it. But
it's different when you're in front of people too, because like
yeah,
something that I struggle with, like, well, not struggle with, but it's always like an obstacle. Like when you work in like creative spaces, like with you it's music, with me it's photography. Like when you're working on set with people, somebody like comes up with an idea, like, yo, what if we like move the light here, change the aperture, change the angle, and it's just like sometimes like I'm always down for suggestions, but sometimes like I'm just like, I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
Right, because like I've had this image in my mind for so long that I wanted to do it, and it's like respectfully like I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like some people can have that conversation. Some people like can't. They don't really like the the confrontation. Is it easy like with your band?
Yeah.
Being able to like say no sometimes.
Yeah, everybody obviously is entitled to their own opinion. I think a lot of people are super creative in their own way. Our band is pretty much formed just of friends. Like we didn't come together because we play music and then we built our friendship off of that. The reason that we're all playing music together is because we're so close. And I feel like having your like best friends, because they are like my closest friends, the people in the band, among,
you can tell them like that shit
sucks. Among a few other people, I can say like, yo, that shit sucks, or vice versa, they can tell me, yo, that shit sucks.
I feel like we all need to hear it too sometimes. Like,
yeah,
hey dog, come on.
It's good to like not be pompous and be like my way is the only right way. I think being open to criticism is super important. There's been a few songs that I've written and tried to bring to people, and I'm like, I think this is dope, and they're like, that shit is ass, bro. Like you gotta just like scrap it. But I try and listen to them. Yeah, you have to.
Cause then like I feel like sometimes like I hear in the scene like some people are real buddy like like different bands, and I'll be one on one with one of them, and I'm like, bro, that song they performed was ass. I'm like, bro, you just dabbing them up. Why didn't you say like, hey, bro, like you don't gotta be like that shit was ass, but hey, man, fuck with that chord and the hook.
It gets touchy when it's like somebody's art, you know? I think that's like, I think that's the touchiest part. For at least, I will never say something about another band for sure, but I think at least with our band, and like, for example, like if Alex and I are trying to write together and then we bring it to the rest of people, because Alex and I play the guitar, so it's really easy to write like songs together on an acoustic or whatever. We bring it to Armando, who plays the drums, and he's like, bro, how the fuck am I supposed to write something over that? Like, get real, you know? Yeah, like get real. Like, what are we doing here? I think that gets a little touchy, because it's like, damn, like that kind of hurts my feelings. Like I like put so much energy into that, but it goes vice versa too. Like I try and tell him as a drummer what I think would sound cool in one part, but then he's like, oh, I think this would sound cool. It's a real back and forth, but more often than not, the more time that you have to really nail something down is like, it works a lot better.
Motivation. A lot of people, well, like some bands that I see in San Diego, you could kind of tell that just like they do their thing, and then after the show they're just trying to get some ass. You know? Like they kind of just perform at state for the attention. Maybe they don't even record songs. They don't really even put money into it, or any of like their photos or content, and it's just like something fun to do. Like why are you guys together making music, recording? Because you guys obviously care about the band, right? Like I could tell with the, just like how Rings sounded, one of your singles, like that was really good. What like motivates you guys to want to be good?
I think drawing a lot of inspiration from how other people are operating is a good one. There's a lot of people who are really committed to their band and how their music sounds, and like putting energy into live performances that's like really inspiring to us. But I think, at least for me, I can just speak to what inspires me. I think like the relationship that I have with my band and the relationship that I have with music, I think is something that I don't want to lose out on. So I'll do everything in my power to keep doing this for as long as I'm like physically able to. Obviously I'm not going to like I can't stand up anymore. But at least until I can continue to like harbor this relationship that I have with Alex, Armando, and Josh, because I feel like a lot of what our personality has become is like the band and like what we do and play and stuff. And people at my school or people that I know are like, oh, that's the guy that's in the band. They'll ask me like, how's your band doing? Like, you guys got any shows coming up? And I just like being able to like feed into that. And then My dad was a musician in the 90s. He played in a few bands, like more like
Oh my god. I just started choking, bro.
Jesus, dude. That's crazy. Just trying to deep throat the sweet tea or what?
Nah,
Just
it's
absolutely
unsweet.
neck
It's
the.
unsweet.
Oh, okay. All right, word. That's probably why, dude. You gotta get on that southern style sweet tea. That's the way to do it. Jesus, dude. You good?
Yeah. No, I don't fuck with sweet tea.
Okay.
It's just like I'm really self-conscious about my sugar because I don't know. Like I feel like everything has sugar now.
Gotta maintain that blood sugar, dude. You gotta keep
I
it.
just eat sugar. I'm just like I'm a fat fuck.
Yeah.
Like I'm proving these Europeans right. Like
I know what that. Yeah, I know what you
30
mean.
grams of sugar in a fucking Dr. Pepper.
Right. I don't do soda anymore. That's why I don't do soda.
I can never cut out Dr. Pepper.
Mm.
That's like essential
Okay.
for me.
What's like your top 3
Drinks?
like sodas? Like you had to
Sodas,
choose.
Dr. Pepper, Mexican Coke, maybe I don't even know the name. The fucking this real Mexican one. It's the ones in the glass jar, and it's like
Jarritos?
It's got, yeah, Jarritos.
Yeah.
The fruit punch.
Mm.
I used to work at a barbershop, and they'd have like $1 Jarritos at this like grocery store across the street, but I would abuse it.
Mm.
Um,
You're cleaning out their stock kind of thing?
yeah.
Right.
The Dr. Pepper, I used to have like one a day.
Mm.
Not healthy at all.
Yeah.
Piss, orange.
Yeah. yeah. Radioactive piss. Yeah, I had to get off that for sure.
Yeah, but your dad.
My dad. Yeah, before
I interrupted.
started necking the sweet or the tea, he played in a bunch of bands in the 90s, and it was like the rise of like the pop punk scene. And
Here or in
in San Diego, like he went to my high school. He was like born and raised here, and he played in a bunch of bands, and he still played music when I was born. He had me pretty young. I think he was like 22, 23. And when I was born, I got to kind of experience the practice spaces. All his friends would still play shows. I grew up listening to Unwritten Law, which is like one of my favorite bands of all time. I used to go to their shows all the time.
Oh, 12 gauge open for
12 gauge open for them, yeah, which was super cool. I love talking to Art about that.
Dude, they were pretty cool. And I took a photo of them backstage.
Yeah.
And they're all just like unk status.
Yeah,
Just,
they're
like, taking it like so chill.
Yeah.
It's just like but we're still enjoying it. And
Yeah.
that was so cool. That
That's
even though
so
they're,
dope.
like older, they're still just like, let's just have a show.
Yeah.
Let's like go on a little tour.
San Diego is dope for them. This is like their hometown. They went to a high school near mine, Poway. I'm pretty confident, and I grew up on them.
You know Colts?
No.
I think they went to Poway. Like they have that song with J. Cole. She Knows.
I know that song. I'm not familiar with the.
They're like an indie band.
Okay.
They're from, cause I covered them like a couple months ago. No, they're from the one in downtown, I think.
The high school?
Yeah.
I'm not. There's a ton down there.
They're somewhere.
They're somewhere in San Diego.
One of the high schools. In
One
San
of them,
Diego.
yeah.
But yeah, we got some bands.
We got some bands, yeah. It's just been cool. Like I think that's motivated me a lot. It's like my dad is like living vicarious through me. He's like, this is dope. Like my son's taking the reins. He goes to all the shows that he can. Obviously, he's not going to a show at State because it's just like basically a glorified frat party is what it is.
I mean, some people do.
Some people do.
Like
Some people do, and that's awesome. Like I think
it's pretty weird.
you know what they want to see the scene. Like they want.
Yeah. Hey, back in my day.
Yeah. No, that's kind of crazy.
Nah, there's some shows where I would see dudes pull up a beer. It's like. What are you doing here, bro?
Yeah, like 40-year-old with like a 20, like a 30 rack over his shoulder.
Like, dog, let's wrap this up. Cool.
Yeah. It's cool. I think it's like definitely an interesting scene. He's definitely not going to go to like a house show, but he'll go to Soma. He'll go to anytime we play like a real venue. It's dope, and I think that has been like a big motivating factor for me. But our band, they all have their own motivations. They all enjoy it. They like having fun. We love going to We went to Santa Barbara a few times, Isla Vista. We love doing that shit. Like that's
Dude, those are
so much fun. Even though people, like more often than not, Isla Vista, you're not going there to like, it's just the culture of Isla Vista. Like you're not going there knowing damn well that like you're gonna get like 1 million followers and all these people are gonna be diehard like your fans. You're going up there to have a good time, provide people with a dope show, and then go out and hang out with your friends afterwards. It's awesome. It's really cool.
It's so fun over there because like I went over there on tour with Sunshower.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I think we might have talked about this the other day, but like out there's nothing to do but like party.
Mm-hmm.
Like once the sun goes down at night, like it's either you're studying or you're like there's nothing else to do.
I don't know how those people get homework done. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's what I was thinking. Because I went there with my friend before the Sunshower tour. And we were just like, we just went there for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We slept in my car, no, in his car, and then like just drove back. But like, we're like walking on the coast, like on the bluffs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, dude, like people have this every fucking day.
Yeah.
Just like wake up, surf, have like a little fucking avocado toast. Are you kidding me?
Dude, yeah, $12 avocado toast for one slice kind of vibe. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they, if I could like, if money was no issue and I was like, just wanted to live the life and go to college, it would have been Santa Barbara. I think that place is dope. And I love that they have a music scene up there because not a lot of schools have like designated music scene. Like they have their own system. It's everybody, the shows will go like, normally a band will play at 10, a band will play at 11 and then 12. Or no, it's 9, 10, and 11. And then they go till 12 and they cut off at 12. Yeah, each set is like 50 minutes. It's dope. It's like, and all these people are just there. They're watching. They're having a good time, drunk off their ass.
I feel like with shows like that, like out of town, like I feel like all it takes is like one person to be like, wait, this song's like kind of good. Mm-hmm. Listen to it. Put it on at a party or like put on other people at the college and then maybe have 15 listeners, 30 listeners. And then like little by little, you know, up the coast, you got some listeners, San Diego, LA. Yeah. Isla Vista, Santa Barbara.
It spreads.
Slow?
I've been to Slow, but not to play a show.
It's good, bro.
We want to go. We want to go really bad. We want to hit like a little coast tour, like Santa Barbara, Slow, Santa Cruz, hit all the stops.
Yeah, I when I was in Slow, it was just like some of the best, like stereotypical California weather, amazing. The beaches there were like really cool because it's not like the biggest town. It's not like a tourist town. It's like really out the way. And dude, I wish I could. If I were to go to college, well, like I never went, but like if I were to go, it'd probably be Isla Vista or like Slow.
Yeah.
Just because like same thing, nothing to really do out there. Party, drink, vibes.
Yeah, I like it out there. It's really cool.
So like a lot of bands, I feel kind of keep their head down, especially like when you're just starting out here in San Diego and you're playing mostly like shows at San Diego State. It's just like, oh, we want to make it. Let's just grind right now. It's always grind. But what do you think is like the end of that? Like the light at the end of the tunnel? What is making it? Like not like the opposite of right now where you're playing these small shows. Like what is success? Maybe not for the band, but for like you personally. Is it like just supporting yourself financially? Is it getting these big shows? Is it opening for like big bands? Like what is success to you?
I think it's pretty subjective to each person, but I feel like to me, it would be, like I told you earlier, I think success, or like our goal was like album and tour. I think that would be like our goal. And I think success to me would just be like feeling fulfilled with what I've accomplished. So I think being able to like put as much out as I can or as we can. And then I think it would like an I made it moment if we are really trying to take it, which I feel like we would all be down to kind of take it to that level where we could be financially stable off of the band. You know, I think it would be cool to see like a check come in, like a fat check that we could all like split amongst each other, or like go on a tour where like somebody else is kind of paying for it, you know, and we don't have to like pay for our own gas. Like we'd have a bus or something cool like that.
It's fun, dude. I've been on
it's
tours
cool.
like that.
Yeah,
Just like Food? Alright, here you go.
Yeah, and like I'm working at Soma doing like runner stuff right now, and they like these bands will send in like hospitality riders, and then we'll go like grab them food, and it'll be in their green room and stuff like that, and it's just so cool like seeing them come in and have that kind of experience before the show. They get to hang out and get treated dope because like they're touring like a Live Nation kind of thing. We'll provide them like a certain amount of money to like get food and stuff like that. It's dope. Like it's really cool, and I think having something like that, or like having people who are like, I want to buy their merch like online, or like I want to buy their vinyl records, or I want to like go and support them at this show any way that I can. I feel like that would be awesome, and I think like a real I made it moment would be in the future if like we released a song and it did really well for itself and it was like our top stream song. If I go to a show and we play and I hear people like singing it at me, yeah, because that's like lyrics that you wrote, and it happens sometimes like under Wax Bums, or even right now we'll play a show and I'll see individual people, or I'll hear out of the corner of somebody singing like a song of mine.
Like the whole thing, or maybe just like the hook?
Like either the hook, it doesn't even have to be the whole thing. It can just be like one section, but like the fact that they sat and learned that, or they listened to it enough to like have learned that, and then they go to a show to watch you and then sing your music to you is like so surreal, because you sit down and you write these lyrics about what you're feeling, and like it could be a girl, it could be like how you felt that day, it could be something super duper personal to you. If you write that and then you hear somebody singing it back to you, it's like so surreal, because it's like that's like my feelings and my work, and these people are just like singing it.
Like it's actually resonating. It's not just.
Yeah, it was nuts when we first started playing in our first thing at Soma. Like everybody in my high school, or a bunch of people that I knew from high school, would go to those shows at Soma, and would at least know like a chorus of a song. And I'm in all the way in the back, and I'm playing the drums, like the loudest fucking instrument out of all the ones on stage. And I can hear them singing it. I can see them singing it. And it's like, holy hell. Like, that's crazy. So I think like that on a larger scale would be like my I made it moment. Like, that's dope.
Yeah, I, like the way I think about it is like I try not to think too far ahead, because then it's like, I don't know, I don't like, if you think about it like at the beach, you look at the horizon,
Mm-hmm.
you're not looking at like the sand
Mm-hmm.
and like the waves crashing, right? But like in photography, sometimes like I have people come up to me, like a lot of photographers, which I appreciate because like they know ball, and they're like, dude, like that photo you took of the Marias, dude, like the fucking, like the angle, the, you know, like this, like how it's zoomed in or whatever the fuck, like the aperture, like dude, that was fire. Like that moment you got was like insane. Like you're my favorite photographer. It's like, whoa. Fire. And then like sometimes people who don't even know ball, or like just like normal people who don't even know about photography, they're like, it could just be they like the Marias or whatever artist, like 12 gauge, like dude, like the photos you take with 12 gauge are fucking amazing. And like we're trying to get prints out because a lot of people are asking, like, because they want to get like prints on their wall. And it's like, growing up I had like this cousin who always had like pictures of his favorite artists on his wall in like a decked out room. And he had like this Logic poster that was like a 16 by 20, real big, and it was like a black and white, him flipping off the camera, and like the thought of that being one of my photos, that somebody's gonna like look to the wall for inspiration, is like really inspiring for me, like to want to keep going, letting me know like I'm doing a good job right now. And it's like, maybe I'm not on the cover of Vogue, right, like taking photos for publications or these big things. It's like little by little, but then on the contrary, it's like, what even is making it in photography? Because I met this photographer who used to be the photographer for Guns N' Roses. Like all their photos, like when they were starting out, he took. And then I see him usually like at the Whiskey A Go Go in LA. Like if I ever get hired to go there, usually he's there. And then I'm thinking like, okay, what even is making it, like, because I'm still in the same room with this guy who was like at the pinnacle, right? Even if you do hit that, eventually you do come down, and you might go on crazy tours or work with the biggest artists. Like my favorite artist is Steve Lacy right now. It's like, even if I do work with Steve Lacy, like eventually that does come down, that high does come down. So I try to think about it like, I don't know, appreciating the wins in the moment, because like they all go away. Like even if you get like a platinum album, eventually it goes to number one and then it goes back down off the top 200 chart. So like, I don't know, I try to be real appreciative, because I feel like photography, it's like you take the photo, somebody sees it, and then they keep scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's the satisfaction is like so quick.
Yeah.
So just trying to like, yeah, appreciate it, like you said. Speaking of photography, I have a lot of people on my page who are photographers and follow me because they like the photo and they understand like the technical aspects. To somebody who, because I meet a lot of photographers at shows and they ask me for advice. To some of these people who might not have the same experience as me, somebody who's in a band performing, what advice would you give to like a photographer that goes to shows, that wants to take photos of shows? Because the advice I give is always, just show up. Like when I started, I knew I wanted to take photos of shows and artists, but I didn't really know how to. I'd reach out to people and then I'd just be in their DMs. So I would just go on ST shows and like show up to any flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were mid as fuck, and there'd be like 10 people, but I'd take the photos, do my best to make it look good and like build a relationship. What advice would you give to somebody who maybe they don't know what they want, in terms of maybe like their angles? Like what do you want? Like if a photographer is taking photos of you at Soma.
Like what I would tell a photographer that like.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
You don't have to tell them.
Yeah, I think a lot of them came to mind. I think like for photographers that like don't really have a portfolio of sorts and hasn't worked with a lot of bands and like want to get into it, I love when they're just there and they just make it happen. Like obviously, we met at the Soap Factory at a show when we were playing for Wax Bums way long ago. This was before we even dropped like the album, before we were really taking things seriously. But I think just you being there, and then what I thought was cool, because a lot of bands don't really have money like that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of bands are like kind of scared to have a photographer come and shoot for them because they're like, I'm gonna pay this money and then the photos might suck. Like it's really not, like you don't know. So I think to your point of like building a relationship, you came, you took those photos, you just sent them to us for free, which were really cool. Like I can't remember if we like sent you whatever money or whatever, but there was a few that you posted that we were able to use, and I think that was like a start because the photos looked dope. Like they were really cool, super high quality, unlike something that we've had prior, because people would just take pictures with like a film camera or something like that and just send it to us or disposable. But I think the fact that you were just there and then you did that, we were like, dang, that one dude's photos were really sick. So maybe if we have another show, let's ask him to come. And then at that point, you're like, yeah, I'm super down. Would you be willing to like slide me $50 for like driving? And then like if you're using film or whatever, it's like, of course, yeah, because this dude was really nice to us. Another thing though, for like angles and stuff, I can't speak to other bands or whatever, or like other people, but one thing that I really like, or one thing that I really don't like, is when a photographer is like scared to get up in your grill, and like, because I know a lot of people have angles in their heads, but they are too like afraid to like get up in there and try and get to that angle. So I would say, if you're nervous about that, like obviously check with the band prior and be like, a lot of people are like, oh, you just want us to hang out on the side? I'm like, nah, like get up in our face, especially for the drummer. A lot of people don't get good drummer photos. You do that really well. You get good drummer photos.
The drummer always has to eat.
The drummer has to eat, and nobody.
Like, are you only taking photos of like the singer?
Yeah.
Like, bro, the drummer.
You got to give everyone and especially at a place like Soma on the side stage, where you can only get onto the stage from one side. More often than not, the person on the far side, nobody's going over there to take photos of him unless they're in the crowd. So I would say, if I had to give a piece of advice, just don't be afraid. If the band is cool with it, don't be afraid to like get up in their face, and like obviously be mindful if they're spinning and trying to hit up like a backflip on the stage.
Who's hitting a backflip?
Nobody's hitting backflips, but I'm saying like if I'm like running up to hit a gainer off my amp, you know what I'm saying? Just like maybe make it so I don't land on you. You know what I'm saying? But I think the intimate photos are where it's at, and those are always cool.
Close?
Yeah, when no one's afraid, or when someone's not afraid to like get up in the drummer's face and like grab a photo of him, or get up behind the like someone on the opposite side of a stage, maybe in like a little dangerous territory. Those are often the best photos. So it's like
I've always been really like scared of like getting really close. Like a lot of times I see that's something I'm always self-conscious about. Like the artist, I don't want to interrupt their set, and then like the crowd, I don't want to have like people like eyes glaring at me like, get this fucking asshole out in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I am a little tall. I'm 6'2".
6'2", dark, handsome.
Type shit. I don't know.
It's rough.
Music that you love right now. It could be local or just like on the charts. Like what are you listening to right now? Like favorite songs?
Right now, my favorite artist is McGee by like a mile. I listen to a lot of McGee.
Bad bitches love McGee, but I've never.
They do, and that's just how it is.
I'm not gonna get into it.
I really liked, my coworker Dino got me into McGee. I listened to Are You Looking Up, and at first I wasn't really fucking with it because it was weird noises, but I think as my ears have matured, I've gotten really into it. His album, 2 Star and the Dream Police, I think is what it's called, is like my favorite album right now. And then I listen to a lot of Dijon too. McGee did guitar for him on his album Absolutely.
Dijon, that's the one on Drake's album?
I'm not sure. I don't listen to a lot of rap music like that, but yeah, he's like I'm not sure if he's black. I'm not sure if he's like a Latino of some sort. He has a kind of confusing face. He might be a mix of both. I don't know, but he's really good too. I've been listening.
Not to get canceled.
Yeah, I'm really. I should have said Latinx is what I should have said. I'm trying to
Mexican,
tiptoe around that. I am Mexican. I'm white passing though, so it's like super hard to tiptoe around that. But those have been.
I'll throw the R in there. Beaner.
Really? You can say it, bro. That's you look enough. You know, Sanchez is enough for you, but Kaiden and the way that I look is not enough for me. So.
Nah,
anyway,
like the fucking your dual citizenship.
Dude, I need to have like my ID on me. I need to show, pretty much. I need that cop out. But those have been the two that I listen to a lot recently, and I try and stay local and like listen to a lot of local bands too, just to like support, because I think it means the world to people when you listen to their music. So doing that, and I also have like the side where I listen to like. I've been really into like women-fronted indie like folk music, so like a lot of Adrienne Lanker. She's in Big Thief.
I think I've heard of that before.
I listen to a lot of Faye Webster. Dude, Faye Webster's.
Bro, okay. The thing is, like, I feel like it's hard to listen to. Well, not hard. It's easy because it's good music, but like it's hard to say that you listen to these type of female artists without getting called a twink.
I can't beat the twink allegations. Absolutely not. We talked about it. Yeah.
Like, bro. Like I told you before, this girl called me a twink on a date. And on New Year's, I'm with this girl, and she calls me, like, looking up, twink? And it's like...
That's like a slur. That's, like, aggressive right there. That was, like, with some sort of intent.
And she said it again, twink?
Right. Hard K.
Yeah. And it's like, bro, good music is good music.
Yeah. If that's what I have to be to listen to good music, I suppose that's okay, but...
I don't know. I just hate the pick-me allegations.
I think that falls into, like, the umbrella of like, if I claim that I listen to these, which I do, you could look at my Wrapped, you know, like I can show you, but
pull it up right now.
But they like a lot of what the meme has been is like, oh, I'm listening to like Faye Webster and reading feminist literature, and like, you know, like I've been at the rallies,
I've been literature books.
Like that's the thing that you get, but it's just good music. I don't know,
dude. Like I remember, well, I literally like shot Faye Webster, and like. That was a funny show, but so I shot Faye Webster, and at the end of the show, I grabbed her set list, and then like her set level was like on her mic, and then so I had it, and like I'm telling the story to some girl, who, anyways, and then she goes, twink. I worked the event, like it wasn't even like I listen to Faye Webster, and like.
You stole her set list, bro. She got angry. She had to call you out.
But it's like. I can't even work events anymore.
Yeah, you can't even listen to like indie women music without getting the allegations, and that's okay. No, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, bit annoying. Especially like I feel like the way I dress isn't super like. I don't know what even is masculine.
You're not wearing like.
Carhartts.
Yeah, you're not wearing Forces and thrifted Carhartts.
Yeah,
but...
no, I'm not wearing a fucking North Face puffer. But like, yeah. And then who like Lebe?
She's good.
Love.
I don't listen to her a lot, but I really like her voice. It's like very operatic. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I remember I was like, well, cause like how I got into like different genres of like outside of rap was like growing up. My dad, he'd always play like different genres. So he'd play like Tribe Called Quest, and then he jumped to like Spanish rock. So like Soda Stereo.
What you know about Maná, bro?
Nothing. Who?
Dude, damn, Maná.
You gotta send me.
M-A-N-A. That's some good Spanish rock for you, dude. Or Mexican rock. It's good.
I mean, I know
Spanish
Enriquez, like you know. No.
I tried to play my card, and I'm gonna get stomped on because I don't know. I'm not about it like that.
Try to one up me on the Mexican?
More of a cumbia fan myself, bro. They got me listening to that in the kitchen at my job.
I don't know. It's hard though with like the Mexican culture stuff because like I grew up here, like people watching this aren't gonna know, but like we're like 2 miles from the border because I live like right by the border.
Dangerous territory.
Yeah. Like I'm not in the whole fucking suburbs.
Yeah.
But no, like I have family in Mexico. I have family here and I have family in LA. I spent most of my time in the US. But like I never was super like heavy on the Mexican side of my family. And so like I never grew up with like knowing all these people like Bad Bunny. I only found out about him when the white people found out about him. Like I didn't.
You had to wait till it made it to the States.
Yeah. And then like Raúl Alejandro, like the dude who was dating Rosalia, like artists like that, like I wish I was more like educated on it, but I'm just not. Like I have to wait till it comes to this side. And then I feel bad whenever I talk to like a bad Latina and she's like putting all this like music on and I don't know. She's like, you don't know this? And I feel like too white.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't know that.
You just got to take that info and you gotta bury it for the next bad Latina.
Yeah, I gotta like add it to my.
You gotta add it to the portfolio.
Like Infinity Stone, I gotta.
Right. It's like the time stone on the thumb or whatever it is. Yeah. That's your next step.
That was me with Japanese music. Like I found out about Lamp before it hit over here.
Okay.
You know Lamp?
I'm not familiar.
Well, they have like some songs on TikTok that kind of did okay, but like their cover art is like a red flower. Anyways.
Not hitting. I'll have to look them up.
It's like pretty cool, and then like these other artists over there. That's like not city pop, like the '80s city pop.
Right.
It's like pretty common.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like if you're not adding those Infinity Stones, like.
You have to get cultured somehow, and if it takes you fumbling a few girls to get cultured, that's okay. Yeah.
Boy, did we fumble.
Boy.
We got a lot of stones.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, you got a girl, right?
I have a girlfriend. Yeah. I'm happy. I don't need.
Yeah.
I don't need any Infinity Stones, bro. I got all of them. I got all I need. Funny enough, she's Japanese as well. Yeah. So hasn't put me on any of the good music though, but maybe I'll have to pull one out and be like, oh.
Like pull it out like casually, like nonchalant.
Yeah.
What? So you don't know this?
Yeah. Absolutely zero chalant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought you knew.
No.
No, what's happening?
Yeah. It's like I did this for you. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys been together how long?
We've only been together for almost 3 months. I just got back actually yesterday night from a trip visiting her hometown, Sacramento.
The Sac.
The Sac town, bro.
Bro, I don't know if people call it the Sac.
She's in El Dorado Hills though. She's in like a nice area.
I don't know. But yeah, Kaiden from I was gonna say Wax Bones. Joy Walk.
That's crazy.
From Joy Walk.
Oh,
so
yeah.
in 4 days, pre-save. You guys gonna have a pre-save link?
We have a pre-save. It's up right now, but nobody knows about it. It's just in our bio.
I'll link it.
Hell yeah.
Check out what's the name of the song?
It's called Everything.
Everything. I shot the cover.
He shot the cover.
Interesting. I'll put it up right now. But very fun shoot. We did like all these portraits.
All these portraits, and it didn't end up being the cover. The only one is we tossed a record. So I threw a record and it stuck into a tree. And that ended up being the hardest photo.
I remember I was there.
Yeah, you were there. It was just for the viewers at home, you know.
Did I have a video of that? Or did Alex?
No, he didn't have a I don't think so. Nobody thought to take any video of it. Good thing you're getting into video. I saw it too. I watched it.
Threw it.
I threw it.
Which is crazy because it was one of these records.
It was. I left these at your house.
Yeah. And then like it just stuck in a tree, like it didn't shatter.
It shattered the front, and the front came off. Like if you look at the thing, there's like a piece of the record like stuck off. But
yeah,
it's dope.
Crazy science. Good lore behind the photo.
Good lore behind the photo.
Nobody's gonna know. But.
Nobody's gonna even care. They're gonna be like, "Oh, record in a tree, hell yeah!" But to us, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Like, and the person watching.
The other photos are hard, and we're.
They're good. I really like the photos how they came out. Like I was just kind of like, because we use these lights, and I was just kind of like, low-key, this might not come out, but like.
It hit hard.
I took a gamble like with my ball knowledge, and.
So much ball knowledge. You're like the LeBron of photography if you really think about it.
Dude, someone called me the Sanch Goat.
Okay.
The dude from that Lord Steve.
Oh yeah.
Anytime it's like Sanch Goat.
Dude, he has so many funny ways of referring to people. It's ridiculous.
Dude, he's so funny.
Love Steve.
Like I was talking to Art from 12 Gauge, and he's just like too happy.
Who,
he's
you?
Like, always in a good mood. No,
Who, Steve?
No, Steve.
Oh yeah, Steve is always in a good mood.
He's like. It's like suspicious. He's just like always in a good mood. I'm like.
I love that for him. I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Like, why do you envy that? But like, that could be you.
It could be me. I love being in a good mood at shows though. Like I think being happy around other people at shows makes them want to like play around you more.
Dude, I would hate to be one of those like nonchalant guys. Just like, that was cool. I was like,
yeah.
Like, bro, I want to have wrinkles. Like when I'm old, I want to have like the most smile wrinkles.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be one of those people who never shows expression, and then just be lame as fuck and then miss out on like happiness.
Yeah.
Because you want to be like.
Happiness is cool, bro. Be happy.
Yeah,
you know?
because like, this dude like on TikTok, you want to be Future.
That's the one thing is that like
just
those people on TikTok that you were saying like make those videos and are trying to hit big, like those people are probably so much happier than like the rest of us because they're just like so unapologetically like themselves. I think that's so dope. I strive for that every day.
Like the band people that make.
Yeah, they're like we just made this song. Like, is this the song of the summer? And they're jumping around, and I'm like, damn.
Song of the summer.
I wish I could be like that. Like that's awesome.
Oh,
that's
dude,
so cool.
Anytime like I have like a TikTok idea, like if it's more effort than propping up my phone on my desk, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't live with myself.
It's so much like self-doubt and self-deprecation. Like even when I sit down to like sing in front of my camera for TikTok, whether we like it or not, is like the social media right now. So it's like you have to if you want like to be multifaceted in like all the socials. But when I sit down and I'm like, am I really about to sing this song? Like, am I really about to sing a cover of this like Pine Grove song? And I'm like, yeah, like, you're like, fuck, like, damn, what am I doing? But sometimes it's fun. I like it. So.
Yeah, I had like a video like a good amount of views, and I was like, okay, I'm famous now. Like I was
easy. It hit.
Yeah. The next one got like 20 views. I'm like, all right, back to reality.
It's a weird thing, but you got to do it. So.
Consistency, I guess they say, but.
No.
I've asked all my questions.
Perfect.
Unless there's something that you want to put out there about like upcoming.
No, you already hit it. When is this coming out?
Because today is Friday, so it's gonna come out like on the 10th, 11th.
Okay. Well, we're in the studio recording a new EP on the 10th through the 12th. Our new song, Everything, comes out on the 14th on a Tuesday. Listen to that. Come to Soma. We play Soma with a bunch of cool people. We play with Sunshower, Sands, and Juniper Honey on January 18th. It's on a Saturday. It's going to be a great time. Pull up to that. Yeah. Sanchez might be there. He will be there. Sure you should be there.